So hello everyone, this is the day 105th of my journey to improve my communication skills. So today I woke up around 9 o'clock in the morning, and after waking up I had my breakfast, and then again I slept because last night I didn't sleep properly. So again I woke up around 2 o'clock in the afternoon and I had my lunch. So after having my lunch I made a plan which I have to perform in the library. So first 2 hours from 3 o'clock till 5 o'clock, I solved three DSA problems. First one is a daily DSA problem, and the two other problems from the Strivers A to Z DSA sheet. So the first problem which I solved is basically a lead code daily streak problem, which is a two-dimensional read shift by k times. So how do I solve this problem? So first, I calculate the rows and columns in an array and then shifted that two-dimensional array into the one-dimensional. And after shifting into one dimension, I calculate the new rows and new columns for the uh, new two-dimensional arrays so that I didn't tamper the given array. So this is the approach I applied, and in the end, we got the final array which contains the shifting of elements by k times. So this is problem number one. And the second problem which I solved is calculate how many times the array is rotated. So this is basically problems which is associated with the binary search. So the given array is in the sorted order. We have to calculate the minimum element in an array. After calculating the minimum element, we just need to return the index value of that array. So the basic approach of binary search, like reducing reducing the elements into the half-half, and the time complexity is big of a log n. Space complexity is big of 1. And another problem which I solved is to calculate the element which is not repeated in an array. So what is in this problem? So basically, given an array, in every elements repeated twice in an array, only one element is single, and we have to return that element. So again, I applied the binary search approach. And we can also solve this problem with the help of the linear search, but with the linear search, the time complexity is big often. So to reduce the time complexity, the best optimal approach is to solve with the help of binary search. So again, uh, we reduce the array into the two parts, like uh, if the element is present on the left side, if it is present on the right side. On that basis, we reduce it, and finally, the time complexity will be big of log n, and the space complexity is big of 1. The last problem which I solved is to find the peak element in an array. So what is basically peak element? So peak element is an element in an array if a element in an array is said to be peak element if the left side and the right side of that element is smaller than that element. Then only that element is known as peak element. And if array contains only one element, then it will be considered as a peak element. And first and last element, if they are the highest element in the array, then we consider the next and the first element as a minus infinity, so that we can calculate the peak element in an array. So again, in this, again I apply the binary search approach to solve the problem, and the time complexity is big of log n and space complexity is big of 1. So after solving the both these problems, I work on my aptitude session. So today, from 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock, I basically work on HCF and LCM related problems. So in the library, I just studied about the basic concept of regarding LCM and HCF. What are they? What are the multiples? What are the factors? What are the methods through which we can calculate the HCF and LCM and their relation? What is the cofactor? And numerator and denominator relationship between the HCF and LCM. Product of two numbers is equal to the HCF into LCM. So these are the basic concepts which I learned, and tomorrow I will try to solve the problems on it so that I can master the concept. So coming to my communication skills. So today again I read the book which is The Power of Positive Thinking, which is written by the Norman Vincent Peale. So the topic which I read today is regarding how to develop your own happiness. So the author mentioned a beautiful story, like uh, an old age person woke up every day in the morning, and he has two choices, whether he choose happiness or unhappiness. So it all depends on us whether we want to see ourselves as happy or unhappy. It's all the personal perception that the humans need. Because if you think that everything is going against you, nothing is work what you want in your life, so you will only create unhappiness in your life. If you think positive, then you will definitely create happiness in your life. So this is all about which the author mentioned in the uh, chapter number fifth, which is how to create your own happiness. So again, I encountered with some words whose meaning I don't know. I put it in the chat GPT, get the meaning, and wrote it in my personal diary notebook. So the two is words which I learned is first one is radiant, which means bright and glowing. Then bubbled, which means overflowed with excitement. Then endowed, endowed means naturally gifted. Then subtlety, which means fine detail. Then woes means problems. Then eminent, highly respected. Abominable, which means terrible. Freighter, which means worried. Affable, which means friendly. Green, which means speaks while, then mumbled, which means speak unclearly. So these are the words whose meaning I don't know. So I will try to revise it again and again so that whenever I will study any book, so I won't feel like I don't know the meaning of the content. So yeah, that's all about day 105th of my journey to improve my communication skills. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.